In 1942, the management at BBC Radio decreed that Bing Crosby's jaunty recording of the song Deep in the Heart of Texas should not be played for the good of the nation. Why? In 1942, the management at BBC Radio decreed that Bing Crosby's jaunty recording of the song Deep in the Heart of Texas should not be played for the good of the nation. Why?
Stepping out of this one, it is a legendary British broadcast story, and I am that sort of nerd.
Sorry, we've lost one.
Gosh. Okay, Tina, it's
It's
you
in
and I.
1942, World War II.
Yeah, so we're in World War II. Good of the nation, I feel like, ties into that as well. Like, for the good of the people. Jaunty is making me intrigued. Like, what about his recording has made this jaunty, and why would that make the nation not be good?
Jaunty mean like, can someone define that?
It's catchy. It's
It's a bit ooh, it's a bit edgy.
it's infectious, like you can't help but get into it. It's jaunty.
So you're like too happy. You can't be happy because it's war. No.
Yeah, maybe it's more like, I think like a hat. You'd wear a hat normally when it's jaunty. It's when you put it on an ankle. It's like, oh, I'm a bit jaunty. Like it's a bit like, I don't know, maybe Deep in the Heart of Texas, he sings it a bit differently. So it sounds a bit like he's saying something else. I don't know. Yeah.
Deep in the Heart of Texas. Do we need to know these lyrics in any fashion?
No.
Okay.
Well, wasting my knowledge of Deep in the Heart.
The lyrics are not objectionable. It's not why the BBC took issue with this song.
Is it war related?
The reasoning is war related.
So how do you say Deep in the Heart of Texas in a jaunty fashion? Is it because of the pronunciation?
Deep in the Heart of Texas. But I don't think that's how Pink will have done it.
Yeah, the tune that goes along with it is jaunty. There's, trumpets and...
Oh, is it because they think that it's time to go fight?
Yeah, you think that would rile them up. But can you imagine a bunch of Brits for Texas?
Yeah.
This is for the Lone Star State.
Yeah. Was there something in it that sounded like something else? That sounded like a siren or something that scared them? That bit that sounds like an air raid siren in Deep in the Heart of Texas.
Like with some hip-hop songs that make me think the cops are behind me when they come on.
Yeah, exactly.
There is actually a little bit in that song, though. There's a particular part of that song that I would say has something like that. Not sounding like something else, but there's a particular bit of it.
Is that relevant in this situation?
It's not going to make everybody turn their lights off during the Blitz or anything. No.
Oh, okay.
Right. Okay. This is where I show my ignorance. Because at what point were America really getting involved? Is it related to
December 7th, 1941?
Okay.
Is when we started. It was when we joined the war effort.
Good trivia knowledge.
Yeah.
It's a date which will live in infamy. It's Pearl Harbor.
Okay. Good American, just general knowledge. Okay, fine.
Yeah. We kind of have to know that. We've only got 200 years of history as a country. We better know it.
So it's not related to America's involvement.
It is not.
Okay. Good of the nation.
For the good of the nation. What else has been banned for the good of the nation? What is considered not good for the nation in England, in the UK? What do you find not good?
You've got the actual fighting of World War II, right? But what else is happening in England as part of the war effort?
Rationing.
The song doesn't just list a load of delicious meals and people feel awful about
like the top of the show. The lyrics are just croissant butter deep in the heart of Texas.
Loads and loads and loads of butter. Yeah. Evacuation, women working. So is it...
A lot of working, really. Mm-hmm. A lot of manufacturing going on.
Is it encouraging people to be lazy? Is the message behind it deep in the heart of Texas, put your feet up kind of thing?
Yeah. Nobody does anything here. We all relax and it's great. Nope,
just eat some barbecue.
Yeah.
Manufacturing's important to this, and the song is jaunty.
What is jaunty? So you put your hat wrong and then you fall over.
I think you've got a completely wrong picture of jaunty.
Yeah, sorry, maybe I've missold jaunty. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. I just think of a jaunty hat. Okay, so... Well, what if people dance? Would people dance to it and then they wouldn't be working because it was such a jaunty tune?
Oh, you're very close.
Ooh.
They'd
just
want
like,
to move their limbs in a rhythmic
oh, and then your
fashion.
hands get chopped off, like your fingers get chopped off because you're just like, oh, whoops.
Just like,
Honestly, like, Julian, I think it might.
You want to give it to him?
Do you know the song? Or
I do.
More accurately, if I was just kind of, I can't remember the tune, but, you know, in certain parts of America, if I would just, you know, shout into a crowd, the stars at night are big and bright.
oh, I see. So there's a bit where it's encouraged that one would clap, and then that would
Yes.
stop out people from getting their hands into their work.
You are correct, Soph. The BBC banned it because wartime production was so essential. They were worried if they played it on the radio, people would take those moments for the clap break, and it would impact production for even just those few
gosh.
seconds. It's just like a brief, the stars at night are big and bright, deep in the heart of Texas. And that's repeated like 6 times in the song, and that was deemed unacceptable by the BBC, so they banned it.
Wow. Oh my gosh, what a great story.
Yeah,
Great trivia.
It's said you can still spot like a Texan anywhere by doing this, just like Tom did, which is funny. I've heard stories of like wartime spies being caught because they're American, because when they like cut their food, they would switch hands because that's a very American thing to do. So it's like that, but for Texans.
Would they ban tea? Did they ban tea during
Never.
that time?
No.
In England? Why
No.
why would they even fight if they had banned tea? You know, like what's left for them at that point?
Tea was rationed in the UK, but there was like a particular part of the wartime government dedicated to keeping tea supplies going because it really was seen as that important for morale.
And isn't that just the most British thing you've ever bloody heard?
The Lateral book is out now. Just click on the link to get your copy.